The night air in Lagos was thick and humid, carrying the scent of roasted plantains and fried fish from nearby street vendors. I adjusted my tie nervously as I approached Eco Imperial, one of the most prestigious restaurants in the city. It wasn't a place we normally dined at as a family, but my mother had insisted on hosting a special family dinner. I hadn't seen most of my family in years. After my father's passing, things had grown complicated. My cousins and uncles, who once celebrated my every achievement, had drifted away, leaving behind an unspoken tension that clung to every interaction. Still, a part of me hoped this dinner would be a chance to reconnect, to finally bridge the distance that had grown between us. As I stepped into the grand hall, the glistening chandeliers cast golden light across the marble floor. My heart swelled when I spotted my mother seated at the far end of a long table, her colorful Ankara headwrap glowing under the warm light. Beside her sat my siblings, cousins, and uncles, nearly everyone from the core of our extended family. But as I approached, I noticed something strange. The conversation at the table quieted. Laughter stilled. Faces turned toward me, but instead of the warm smiles I had expected, I was met with guarded stares. I forced a grin. "Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you all again." No one responded right away. My mother gave a small, tight smile and gestured for me to sit. "Come, Tunde," she said softly. "Let's eat." I sat between my younger sister, Saad, and my cousin, Lanra, who shifted uncomfortably as I settled into my chair. A waiter appeared with steaming plates of jollof rice, grilled chicken, and fried plantains. The aroma was heavenly, but my appetite faded as I sensed the tension thickening like the humid night air outside. Finally, I decided to break the silence. "So, what's the occasion? You said this dinner was important, Mama." She cleared her throat, her gaze fixed firmly on her plate. "It's time we talked about the family estate," she said carefully. "Your father's businesses, his properties. We've been discussing how to move forward." I frowned. "All right. That sounds reasonable. But shouldn't I be part of those discussions? After all, I worked with Dad on many of those projects before he passed." Lanra let out a short, derisive laugh. "Worked with him? Tunde, please. You left for university abroad and barely looked back. Don't act like you were the backbone of this family." I blinked, stunned by his sudden hostility. "Excuse me? I went abroad because Dad wanted me to. He said I should gain experience so I could help grow the family empire." My uncle, a stern man with a voice like gravel, leaned forward. "That was before. Things have changed. The family has decided it's best to keep things within those who stayed and built the foundation here." My chest tightened. "And what does that mean, exactly?" Saad shifted uncomfortably beside me. "Tunde," she whispered, "maybe you should just listen first." But I couldn't. My voice trembled as I asked, "Are you saying you want to cut me out?" Silence fell. My mother's hands shook slightly as she set down her fork. She couldn't even meet my eyes. Finally, she whispered, "Tunde, you've been away so long. You don't understand how things are now. The family feels it's best if you step away." I froze. Step away. The words echoed in my mind like a bell tolling at a funeral. Step away? I repeated, my voice breaking. From my own father's legacy? From this family? Lanra crossed his arms, a smug smile playing at his lips. It's nothing personal, cousin. You've built a life abroad. Why not stay there? We've managed fine without you. Anger burned through me, but underneath it was something far worse, heartbreak. My entire life, I had believed family was unbreakable. That no matter where I went or what I achieved, there would always be a place for me here. I turned to my mother, desperate for her to contradict them, to tell me they were wrong. Mama, please. Tell me you don't agree with this. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came. Instead, she lowered her gaze, confirming my worst fear. The room spun. I felt like a child again, small and helpless. I pushed back my chair, the legs screeching against the polished floor. "Fine," I said bitterly. "If you all want me gone, I'll go. But don't expect me to come crawling back when you realize what you've lost." My uncle snorted. "You overestimate yourself, boy. You think you're indispensable, but you're not." I laughed bitterly, tears stinging my eyes. "We'll see about that." Without another word, I turned and walked away. The murmurs of my so-called family faded behind me as I exited the restaurant into the warm night. Outside, the city lights glittered like distant stars. My chest heaved with rage and sorrow. I pulled out my phone and dialed a number I hadn't used in years. "Mr. Bello," I said when the man answered. My voice was calm now, steady with purpose. "Bring the jet around. We're leaving tonight." There was a brief pause, then a respectful, "Yes, sir." As I waited, I stared up at the night sky, my mind whirling. My family thought they knew me. They thought I had been living a simple life abroad, struggling like everyone else. What they didn't know is that while they were busy guarding scraps of my father's empire, I had built something far greater on my own, an empire so vast they couldn't even comprehend it. And now, they had just declared themselves my enemies. The hum of the private jet's engines was oddly soothing as I leaned back in the plush leather seat. Through the window, Legos twinkled like a bed of golden fireflies shrinking beneath us. My assistant, Chica, sat across from me, tablet in hand. "Sir, the acquisition papers are ready. Once you sign, the deal will be finalized by morning." I took the tablet, scanning the documents. It was a merger worth billions, one that would give me controlling stakes in industries my family desperately depended on. A bitter smile curved my lips. Funny, isn't it? They think they're cutting me off. Meanwhile, by tomorrow, they'll be unknowingly working for me. Chica raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure you want to do this? It's a drastic move." "They didn't just betray me, Chica," I said quietly. "They betrayed my father's dream. He wanted unity, strength. Instead, they chose greed. I can't let that stand." As we flew deeper into the night, my mind replayed the dinner over and over. My mother's tearful silence. Lonra's smug face. My uncle's contemptuous tone. They thought I was weak. They thought I needed them. But by sunrise, the balance of power would shift. 2 weeks later, I returned to Lagos unannounced. My family was gathered again, this time at the family estate. As I entered the room, their laughter died instantly. "Tunde," my mother whispered, standing in shock. I smiled coldly. "Good to see you all. How are the businesses?" Confusion rippled across their faces. My uncle frowned. "What are you talking about?" I handed him a folder. "You might want to read this. Congratulations, you now officially work for me." As realization dawned, chaos erupted. Lonra shouted. My uncle cursed. My mother covered her mouth in disbelief. "You went behind our backs?" Lonra roared. "No," I said calmly. "I simply built my own empire while you were busy fighting over crumbs. And when you told me to step away, I did, straight into my private jet, straight into a world you can't touch." My mother began to weep. "Tunde, please, this isn't what your father would have wanted." I hesitated, pain twisting in my chest. "You're right," I said softly. "He wanted a family united by love, not greed. But you all made your choice." I turned to leave, pausing at the doorway. "Consider this my final gift, jobs, security, and a future. But never again will you have the power to betray me." As I walked away, their cries faded behind me. The night air was warm, the city alive with possibilities. I realized then that family isn't always blood, sometimes, it's the people who stand by you when everyone else walks away. And as my jet lifted into the sky once more, I knew I was finally free.